What's going on YouTube? Top Tech here today. So you may be thinking, where have I been? Well, I know I've actually been away for about a month. I haven't made any videos in that time, and unfortunately it's just been really a stress on schoolwork, on education, getting back into the same routine. Obviously we had a long summer, getting out of routine. I did have a video when I came back from my vacation about the Nexus 7 and also an iCarbon's review, as well as obviously the top 3 apps of September. But without further ado, I just want to go and give you guys an insight to one of the biggest questions I've been asked over the past week or so since the launch of the iPhone 5. So the first question I always get actually for the past couple of days is, should I get the iPhone 5 or should I get the Samsung Galaxy S3? Now, from a fanboy's point of view, you could just say, I could just say, because I do personally love Apple products, I could just say, yeah, just go ahead and get the Apple iPhone 5 because, well, I'm an Apple fanboy. Otherwise, likewise, a Samsung fanboy could also say, no, the S3 is much better. So really, I want to put it in, an unbiased way and just give you the specs of both of them. So first of all, one of the most obvious things about both devices is obviously the iPhone 5 is slightly taller than the previous generation, the 4S. So now we actually have a 4-inch diagonal screen. Now, in comparison to the Samsung Galaxy S3, which is actually 4.8, they're both pretty similar in size. However, you have obviously a bigger screen size in the Samsung Galaxy S3. From a pixel point of view, the Samsung Galaxy S3 has a resolution of 720 by 1280 pixels, and it's got a pixels per inch of 306. So unlike the iPhone 5, also dubbed with a Retina display, with a resolution of 640 by 1136. Now you may think, okay, well that means there's smaller numbers. So obviously the Samsung S3 has a better screen. Well, you're wrong. Obviously the screen does depend, and as Apple have their signature name of Retina display, which means that no pixels can be viewed with the naked eye without zooming right the way in. So what else have we got? Well, the Apple iPhone 5 now sports a dual-core A6 processor, and that has a clock speed of 1 GHz or 1000 MHz. Otherwise, this S3 has an Exynos processor, which is quad-core and runs with 1.4 GHz of a bus speed. They both have 1 GB of RAM. Actually, the S3 may have 2 GB depending if you've got US or international version. Depending where you live, obviously, you may end up having another version. But otherwise, you may end up having a dual core with 2 GB or a quad core with 1 GB. However, actual benchmark tests show that there isn't much difference in the end. In terms of storage, they all come in 16, 32, and 64 GB versions. However, the S3 is upgradable up to a 64 GB with a micro SD slot. Obviously, Apple, since the beginning, have never included a micro SD slot. So maybe if you guys are really high media consumers, you may have to think twice before purchasing your new mobile device. Another feature, which is actually one of the biggest effects in consumer purchases of smartphones nowadays, is the actual camera. So both cameras now shoot at 30 frames per second 1080p video recording, and they both have an 8 megapixel CMOS sensor. However, the S3 does have a 2.4 focal point, so that means that you'll get a better depth of field or aperture when taking pictures, similar to that of DSLRs. However, the iPhone 5 has a 2.6. So if you guys are thinking about using your smartphone as a DSLR substitute, maybe you want to think if you should go for the S3 just because it has that 0.2 of a focal point extra. However, personally, I don't think it would really affect my decision. The front-facing camera has been improved in the iPhone 5. Now we have a 720p HD video recording FaceTime camera. However, the megapixels compared to previously, which was only 0.3, is now only 0.9. So it's still not as high as the front camera of the S3, which is 1.9 megapixels. In terms of speed, now the iPhone 5 does support LTE, 4G LTE, currently on AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint. Likewise does the S3. However, unfortunately, I don't have both devices to test in front of you. I am getting the iPhone 5 in the next couple of days in the mail. However, even then, I wouldn't be able to test LTE speeds as we don't have LTE in where I actually live. Now, coming to the price. Now, depending obviously where you live, you may look into buying contracts or signing a 2-year contract or 1-year contract, depending on your carrier. And you may have really low prices. Sometimes carriers like to charge more per month or less. However, you have to pay more in advance. In the US right now, the S3 and iPhone both start at $199 and $299. And the iPhone 5 goes up to $399 for the 64 GB model in white and white and aluminum. aluminum for anybody out there, or black and slate. So up to $399, as I said. Obviously that's both for 2-year contracts. However, unlocked, for example, in the UK, starting at £529 going up to £699. So depending, I guess, where you live, the availability of the devices, you may have to end up paying different amounts. So let's go really back into the software now. So iOS 6 was just released with the iPhone 5. Personally, I like some of the features. Some of the features are really helpful. I like some redesigns. However, I have to say, maybe, although Apple have said that they will improve, the Maps application was quite disappointing, and I wasn't really happy with what Apple did give to us. I really preferred previously the Google Maps experience, and I did really enjoy using it. It was much more easier. But hopefully now Apple will sort of increase their maps and upgrade and develop on it. However, the S3, it's running Android 4.0.1, so that's actually Ice Cream Sandwich. We haven't got a Jelly Bean update yet, 4.1. However, I think once that does come, we probably have a nice experience. The only thing I don't really like is that it comes with the Samsung's personal skin of TouchWiz 4.0.1. So that means Samsung have all their extra apps and all their skins and all their systems, you know, like Samsung S Voice, for example, and all those extra applications. So, however, with the S3 though, you can customize it, and there are a lot of mods that you can add to the Android operating system to make it as personal as you like. So that was Top Tech, bringing you a quick side-by-side comparison. Okay, maybe it wasn't actually quick, but anyway, I said it again. Well, a side-by-side comparison of the two devices. If you guys have any further questions, just leave a comment down below. Even send us a personal message. We do try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Check out our website, www.toptech.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and if you guys are interested in more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you later.